YouTube because then I can post the link after anyway.
Excellent.
Okay. It looks like we are now live streaming. Hi. So nice to see you.
So nice to see you and your beautiful.
Especially since you had an evening of tequila. YouTube because then I can post the link after anyway. Oh, see, I had to turn the sound down. This happens to me every single time. I know. So anyway, so yes, thank you. We're talking about self-care, and then you went out and had a lot of tequila last night. So well, now
I wanted to prep appropriately for this conversation. So I thought, why don't I wreck myself a little so I can talk about the journey coming back?
I think it's a brilliant strategy. It's so good that I might duplicate your strategy for our next self-care conversation.
It's very relatable. And I will say the first thing I did when I woke up was go, oh, and then I took a Restore and now I feel a little better.
So. You know what? I took a Restore this morning too, because I was just feeling a little like, why not? It's just going to help me because I've been a little under the weather all week because we had our big launch of our CBC. So for anyone who is now watching or watching the video version, we are part of the Conscious Beauty Collective, which just launched at Natick Mall in Boston on September 1st, which is actually 10 days ago. It seems like it was like 3 days ago to me.
It does.
You can sit here, Dino. But it was 10 days ago. And so I was a little under the weather because I've been running on all craziness, like just running hot. And so, yeah. So the Restore has been now my go-to morning. I think if I just make it part of my morning routine in general, let's explain what Restore is though.
Absolutely. And I just realized I should have brought props. So there we go.
I can go get mine. I'm going to go get my props. Okay. Dino will entertain us while you're getting the props, right, Dino? You're a very good entertainer. Here, sit
Celebrity
here.
Dog Dino? Oh,
yeah, he's just going to entertain. He'll do some little dancing.
Dino was more entertaining than I have ever been. So
he'll put one ear up.
Hi, everybody. So hi, I am Sarah Kotlova. I am one of the founders of Impact Naturals, which is one of the brands lucky enough to be included in the CBC and Lynn's fantastic innovation of how a bunch of, kind of indie wellness, health and beauty brands can come together and have a marketplace. So yes, we do indeed make, we make CBD, CBG, CBN products. We are obsessed with bioavailability. One of the things that got us into this world was realizing how much of your supplements pass directly through you and you don't get a lot of benefit out of. So we've invented a technology where you can get about 5 times more than what you get. With that sales spiel over, so this is our morning product Revive. This is normally my favorite, but days when, like I said, I've overindulged a little. I do head straight for the Restore.
Yeah, and I think the Restore is really good because what does it do that's different from the Revive?
What it really kind of does differently is it has it's just very, very like focused. So Revive is about having a little bit more energy and lift. I admit I kind of made this for myself because I am not a morning person, and I would say I spent about 5 years having professional jet lag.
It shocks me that you say you're not a morning person because you're always so like cheerful and beautiful, and she wakes up so optimistic, and I could swear you are like the ultimate morning person.
It's all smoke mirrors and a little bit of pharmaceutical.
Now you're letting people know your secret. This is amazing, though. Now we know your secret. Okay, this is good. I'm learning every day.
It's fake it till you make it, baby. And here, even live on camera, I will show you. I will take a Restore here. Restore is So Revive has a little bit of, kind of like a clean energy stuff in it. Ginseng for energy, ginkgo biloba, can't speak, see, morning. Ginkgo biloba for, kind of like the brain focus, as well as CBG, CBN, or CBG, CBD, see, morning. And Restore is CBD, CBG, nothing else. CBG basically boosts the effects of CBD. CBD is basically just making your own body systems run a little bit better, take care of yourself a little more. That's one of the reasons I really like CBD. And I know that it's, I talk to people all the time who kind of immediately assume that it's like, oh no, it's another CBD bro, and, it's definitely sometimes got a bit of a vibe, but the really the really sane part about it is all you're really doing is boosting your own body systems. You're not really introducing anything new that your body's having to, kind of cope with, respond to, or do anything with. And the very adult sounding medical reason we made Restore was we wanted to have something that was interactive with nothing. So if you have, we have a lot of, some of our customers take a lot of medication, and they really need that medication. It's not like they're med shopping, we have patients going through chemo, we have we have, customers going through chemo, we have customers going through it's really gnarly stuff. I have one lately that I've been corresponding with who has Lyme disease, and these are, we take medicine very, very seriously over on our side. And we wanted to make something which is basically non-interactive with anything. And it also doesn't hit your liver. So so that's the very grown-up professional sounding stuff. And then the unofficial reason is it's really good for hangovers. Yeah. So if there's nothing wrong with you, but occasionally you hit the tequila, I recommend Restore.
That's really actually great to know because, okay, our whole theme is self-care tips for entrepreneurs. We all know as entrepreneurs,
it's an intense lifestyle.
Wine or a lot of wine really does become part of our routine.
It's an intense lifestyle. And, it's something Lynn and I were talking when Lynn launched the first CBC in San Francisco, which was just amazing. And we were kind of sitting around talking about, and you kind of get these essay questions like, what is wellness? When we're all kind of looking at each other, trying to think of something decent to say. And I think Lynn said it that, wellness is a practice. Wellness. Elaine. Okay. Elaine Morrison, our fantastic friend, has the only college in line I've ever really liked.
You said it.
Well, one of us. All three of us were talking.
Wait a minute here. You said it.
Well, in a conversation with Lynn, our good friend Elaine Morrison, and me, this came out, and it's my favorite thing because I would never be able to put myself on Instagram up as some kind of like paragon of every virtue, right? I exercise grumpily. I eat well only grudgingly, but anything that gives you like just a little bit of a moment in your day, right? A little bit of a cheat code, a little bit of a inspiration that like, if I do this right, I'm going to feel better. I'm going to have a better day, a better afternoon. And that just leads into a better week and a better month and a better life, right? So all those little things really kind of add up. Like Elaine's product, like using Masami in my shower where it keeps my hair under control, even when I don't get up to do it properly. And things like Impact Naturals. So
I'm starting to come to the conclusion that self-care for me as an entrepreneur is a lot about shortcuts, and shortcuts are products that deliver and products that do stuff. And that, to your point, like if I can use something that's great, that helps me, then carries me forward or even into the next day. Oh my God, that's amazing. So I use Elaine's collagen. That to me is a great little hack for anyone because skin, hair just looks better. It just helps overall from the inside. We already established I take your Restore. I also take what I didn't say it. I take your Rest. The Rest, I don't always take it every night because sometimes I just conk out, which is good. And that's the point.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
But if I'm up and I know I'm going to have a little bit of trouble sleeping, which is often, then I actually have been popping 2 of them.
I think it's worth spending a minute on sleep because it is sort of like just data wise, obviously kind of an overwhelming crisis. There are more people on sleep medication right now than, there were in like the last, 5 years put together, not including since COVID started, basically. Prescription scripts during COVID went massively up and usage also went massively up. And I'm willing to bet if you're an entrepreneur, there are absolutely times you can't sleep or you worry about not sleeping. And, when we started working on Rest, and we come from a background of, oncology and hematology, right? But we didn't necessarily have like we aren't necessarily sleep experts. So we really kind of had to dive in and work with a bunch of, people who were. And there's, all these different phases to falling asleep. And what I think a lot of us could relate to is there are people, sometimes you can't fall asleep at all. And sometimes you can fall asleep, but then you're going to wake up or you worry about waking up or you are waking up, right? That kind of 2, 3 a.m. wake up. And one of the biggest problems I talk to people who are stressed about is they have that wake up at like 2 or 3 a.m. They've got like an 8 a.m. meeting. and
Yeah.
they don't know,
If they
what do
can
I
get
do?
back to sleep.
Right. It's like,
Yeah.
do I take a pill? You know, do I take a supplement? Do I just try to go back to sleep? Do I say fuck it and go to the gym? Like, what do I do right now? Because I just feel like my whole day's destiny was just determined and it's messed up. And the best answer actually is, so look at the half-life of whatever you're taking. If you're taking a prescription drug, the half-life is normally about 4 hours. If you're taking a supplement, or if you're taking, say, for example, rest, the half-life is probably more like 2 to 4. And the answer is basically have it right by your bed. The minute you get that 2 or 3 a.m. wake up, roll over. My advice would be take a supplement, but we can talk about step downs, because if you are on a prescription drug and just try to go cold turkey, it is not going to work out for you. You do need to step down gradually, work with your doctor on a plan. But a supplement like rest, part of, or, maybe a low dose melatonin, or, some people valerian can help a little bit. Roll over, take it right away, close your eyes, do all of your, kind of like get back into your zone, kind of moments, and try to go back to sleep. Because the biggest problem people have is when they try to keep going and powering through, and then you really will hit that crash about, 8 or 9 a.m., which is right when you were hoping to be on, right?
Yeah.
But if you have a plan before, it really helps.
I love that you're explaining this, because this happens to me, and I do have that dilemma sometimes. And sometimes you just, I think, well, I already took one, I'm not going to take another, but that's ridiculous actually, because to your point, it's 2 a.m. I took it at 9 or 10 or whatever, so actually that makes a lot of sense. And sleep is probably for me like the number one determining factor of my mood.
Absolutely.
If I don't get a good night's sleep, man, I am grumpy.
Absolutely. The other piece of advice I would give is, let's say you do have that interrupted sleep rhythm, because again, going to sleep, staying asleep, slightly different things. If you do get that interrupted sleep cycle, you've only got like 5 hours or whatever. Basically, really, really try to avoid the afternoon nap that we all do, including me. If you really kind of want to get back on your game or back on your rhythm, basically, once you've decided you're awake, commit to being awake. You might consider a product like Revive. If you can, avoid caffeine, because caffeine will mess up your cycle a little bit even further. And caffeine, by the way, has a half-life of like 12 hours. So it really sticks around. If you are caffeine sensitive, I hate to say it because I'm a caffeine addict and I love it, but if you are sensitive to it, you might want to consider going off of it. I know, I'm sorry. To me, that's like saying never eat food again. No, but if it really can make a difference for some people, and do your best to power through. And then when you get to like a reasonable kind of quote unquote bedtime, even if it's as early as 8 o'clock, give yourself permission, put on the face mask, take the lavender bath, but shop the CBC, by the way, because so many people have amazing relaxing products.
Oh my God. Well, like the Simpure algae mask, stick
love
that.
Love that.
There was a brand that was in San Francisco CBC, Mama's Medicinals, and she made the bath salts, CBD bath salts. Oh my God, I love them. So I will literally throw some of those in the bath. And just take that few minutes to relax. It makes such a difference.
Baths are great. And something that stood out to me in a survey we did a while ago about sleep with our customers was how many people feel like they have to earn sleep, or they don't deserve sleep yet. And I'm sure there's an entrepreneur or two out there who could relate to that statement. Like, I have to finish everything. I must be, ready. There's a great quote from Hemingway, who talked about the point of writing is to get to where you're excited to pick it up again. So instead of, kind of like, and yes, CBD can help with that kind of like anxious wandering mind, kind of element. And that's part of what is removing a barrier to sleep. But, one thing you can do for your self-care with, absolutely no supplementation required is, kind of give yourself permission to kind of like have the list and be like, here's what I'm accomplishing tomorrow. I know where I am. I know I can pick it up. I don't have to panic. Now I can go take my beautiful Simpure bath salt and, my beautiful self-care routine and let myself rest. Right.
Oh my God. Yes. I know, because you're right. Sometimes I just feel like I have such a long to-do list that if I don't check stuff off, the stress of it running through my brain or just not being able to shut it down is like not worth it. So I'll just stay up and do it because I'm like, okay, the alternative is that I'm going to literally be thinking about it and not be able to sleep. So but you know what, also I've realized, and this was a cancer perspective, this shit doesn't go away. You know
No.
what I mean? There's always a to-do list and it's always really long.
There's a great Russian idiom phrase, I don't know, that I like to use, which is that I've stolen from my husband, which is work is not rabbit, will not run away from you. Well, in other words, like, look, the work's always going to be there, right?
It's always gonna be
you don't
there.
have to chase it through the woods.
That's really funny. I like that. I'm going to use that.
You have to
But
use
it's
the
true. It's
Russian
like the
accent.
work is there. It's not going away. I mean, okay, granted, sometimes there are legit deadlines. Like when we were opening the store and we had founders coming in and it was a date, like it had to be open by September 1st, then okay, stuff has to be done. But most of the time, let's face it, if it gets a day later, 2 days later, a week later, sometimes several weeks later, it's not the end of the world most of the time.
The conflict, I think, is also, people who are entrepreneurs, we're doing this because we're driven to do something, right? I mean, it's a lot easier not to do something than to do something. And that, the trick is to harness that drive for good, instead of self-destruction.
Oh my God. Well, okay. You're the one that taught me this theory of you're either an agent of chaos or an agent
of order. I really do believe this. And listen, it's not like one is better than the other. They're both really valuable to society. They're both, great. They're both fantastic friends and people. It's just that you are either, you're an agent of order or you're an agent of chaos. I don't have to explain. Everybody gets it. You get it.
Yeah, it kind of is what it is, right?
And you just have to, it's that know yourself philosophy. If you know which one you are, you can plan appropriately.
So do you want to reveal which one you are?
I am an agent of chaos.
Okay, which I knew, but now everyone in the world knows.
What about you, Lynn? Which are you?
I'm definitely an agent of order. I'm sorry. We already established that if there was a survival test, I would not survive because I would follow the rules, and that would kill me instantly. Because one of the things that I learned reading my survival book is that when shit goes down, you kind of have to question, and you have to not follow the rules. You have to actually go down when the Twin Towers were burning, not go up to the top. So I would have been the one that would have followed everybody up to the top.
But this is why we're great friends, because think about it, like you do amazing things like, bring 30 entrepreneurs together with different goals and, good intent, but occasionally like everything, hurting people's like hurting cats.
Yeah.
You can get that accomplished and together. And then the rest of us are just here to tell you how great you are.
No, the rest of you bring the interesting stuff to the CBC. Call it chaos, but it's actually the stuff that's the magic.
See, it's all about the combinations, right? So, and another reason we're such great friends. So
I know it's amazing, actually. And it kind of makes sense because, I don't think I could be around a lot of other people like me. I would drive myself nuts.
It's all about back to the supplementation. It's all about supplementing yourself, right? What do I need in my life? What can I give someone else, and what can I get from them? It's how do I get that energy dialed in, right?
Well, this has been a fascinating conversation. I think we can wrap it up with that.
Fantastic.
I think you dropped a lot of gems, a lot of self-care gems today. All about rest and how to recalibrate. That was really critical. How to give yourself a little boost when it's not about rest, and how to sort of have a different mindset towards work.
Exactly. We're all here for the long game. So, respect your long game.
Yes, there we go. Okay, that one's going on my little CBC quote. Respect your long game. That's awesome. All right. Well, listen, I will see you soon. Thanks for joining.
Thank you so much.